Boss, so straight back in action, Bradford City at home on Tuesday night, and a great opportunity to pick up another 3 points.
Yes, obviously I feel good about the place, and off the back of what I felt was a professional performance and a clinical performance in terms of the goals the chances we took to get the goals at the weekend. So yeah, quick turnaround again, as has been the case for most of the season, but we go into it in a positive and upbeat frame of mind.
You'd have looked at Bradford. What can we expect from them in a footballing sense?
A very good team going forward. Got some very, very talented individuals, very good players for the level. So we expect them to be a real threat going forward, but we understand where we can hurt them on the flip side of that. So as always, respect what the opposition's about, but our preparation has been about Leyton Orient and how we can impact the game, in the best way that we possibly can.
On the back of a poor run of form in 4 straight defeats, this is obviously a great opportunity to now put a run of form together, which is a lot more positive. Yeah,
of course. Disappointing run of games, obviously, before that, but then not so long before that, it was a real positive frame of mind. So, I'm sure it's already been said before, but it's important not to get too up when it's good and too down when it's not so good. There's going to be moments in the season when we lose games of football, of course, and we've got to be able to put that into perspective, learn and progress and kick on off the back of those, and at the same time continue to be focused on building good runs, because that's what's going to be able to help us, I suppose, build a consistent momentum and give you an opportunity to kick yourself up the league. But we know that through the good and the bad this season, there's going to be narrow margins in terms of where you find yourself in the league. So, like I say, perspective amongst all of it, for the good and the bad, is I suppose the main ingredient for this season.
Obviously, it was a Saturday, now into a Tuesday. After a 3-0 win, I guess it can be tempting to try and keep the same 11, but how realistic is that for you in terms of the quick turnaround?
It's become more realistic. I think albeit there's been rotations throughout the season. I think you referred to that 4-game period that wasn't quite as good or how we would have wanted it, and there was a lot of rotation within that. But I think it's important to remember that there was cup games and the backlog of fixtures that we've been having. It's not something, and it's not a habit that we want to get too caught up in or focus on too regularly, but we have to respect the amount of games and the short turnaround that there is. So yeah, it's important to try to get consistency, but with injuries, with niggles, with the load of games that are coming, we've got to be careful to make sure that we don't end up losing people for extended periods of time.
Talking to Lawrence Liggery earlier, and he mentioned about how every game we've won this season, we've kept a clean sheet in it. So it does go to show how important a good defensive display is in terms of picking up points. Yeah, and I thought that was what Saturday was. I didn't think Harrogate had a little bit more of the ball than us at times, but we knew that how they were going to approach the game, and as I said earlier, respected what we thought they were going to be about, and felt that we could hurt them probably in the manner that some of our goals came about. But I don't think there was many moments, one cross in the first half, a header in the second half that I remember, but other than that, didn't really feel as if we were under too much pressure. So we've got to find, I suppose, that consistency, of not giving up too many chances, which I don't think we give huge amounts of opportunities at our goal away on the whole, but we've the main focus is always to make sure that we cut out the mistakes, the moments of lapses in concentration, the individual errors, if you like, but that's something you can say at the back end of the pitch as well as when we're going forward. So it's an easy thing to sort of talk about, but at the same time you've got to go out and do it. We did that at the weekend, and like you say, when we've won games, we've kept teams out, which is something that we really wanted to improve on off the back of last season. So yeah, it sounds a little bit more simple than it actually is, but certainly it's at the forefront of our minds. Awesome, thank you very much.